8 Pains in Life. Amy. There are many afflictions in our lives, typical of which are the 8 afflictions in Buddhism. The first is the pain of being born. These days, many children are born by cesarean section, but most are born after a normal birth process. Before the development of medicine, the mother, who was about to give birth, entered the room determined to die. There are many unexpected accidents in which mothers and babies die, and the birth of a life is difficult and painful. The second is the pain of aging. What this father is experiencing in person now is the pain of aging. There's a saying that the body isn't what it used to be. It slows down, hurts joints when walking, and gasps when climbing slightly higher. It depends on the health of the individual, but it is harder to move the body than when you are young, and you feel a loss of memory. As I get older, it becomes harder to stand for a long time. Most people drive their own cars, but when using public transportation, giving up seats for the elderly is building their own blessings. The third is the pain of illness. It's a pain that anyone suffers without explanation. Everyone wants to live a healthy life all the time. But it's hard for anyone to escape the pain of disease. Buddha taught us not to want our body always to be healthy. If you are always healthy, you are arrogant and wary of behaving recklessly. We humans sin with our bodies, words, and thoughts. When you are sick, look back on how I treated your body recklessly, and when you get back to health, think about how to use this precious body to benefit me and others. The fourth is the pain of death. Our body consists of 4 big elements. The 4 great things Buddhism says: bone and muscle, water, warm energy, breathing, and moving energy. When death approaches, bones and muscles do not work properly. It's hard to walk and you feel heavier. If the elderly fall down, it is quite dangerous because when they lie down, their heavier bodies become more heavier, making it difficult to move. It is said that when death is near, there is a pain like a big mountain pressing down on the body. Also, the anus opens and the last liquid comes from the anus and the urethra. The water that occupies most of the body is depleted. Then the body temperature cools, and people in the old days predicted a place to be reborn after dying from the warm zone until the very end. If the top of your head and the top of your head are warm, you will escape the wheel of life and death and live in a paradise of eternal joy. If your forehead is warm, you will be born in heaven, but if you use up all your blessings, you will have to come back to the human world. Finally, if you don't breathe out, you'll die. After one dies, according to the karma built in this world, one reincarnates into 6 worlds spoken by Buddhism. One thing to keep in mind is that after I die, if possible, don't let other people touch my body for 2 days, including doctor. When someone touches my dead body, I will feel very excruciating pain. Because the senses are still alive. It will be very painful. And instead of crying out loud, you'd better chant the mantra of great light. It's on YouTube, so look it up. It's a request. These 4 are physical distresses, which we will inevitably suffer as long as we were born human beings. Fifth is the agony of breaking up with loved ones and likes. Someday you'll have to break up with this dad. It's a pain that we can easily experience, and the cause of this pain is that we like it. This is called obsession, and my mind comes from following people or things. The fundamental reason is the mistaken illusion that what is in front of us always does not change forever. Sixth is the pain of meeting people who hate and dislike. It's also the pain of living in a place where you don't want to live. You can avoid it if you understand what Buddhism says. The pain disappears when you understand karma and recognize that pain comes because you hate it. Seventh is the agony of not getting what you want and sailing. If you don't want something, you become happy. If you go to Kyoto, Japan, there is a famous temple called Ryoanji. There is a small wall with the letters, which means I only know satisfaction, and it is a great teaching. If you are always satisfied and grateful for the current situation, you can live with a relaxed, happy mind, and the desire to save gradually disappears. This is what real happiness is. Now, except in a very small part of the world, no one dies of starvation because they have nothing to eat. Our greed is the problem. The generous heart of giving away the greed for things that are not necessary and distributing the remaining things to others will bring invisible luck. These three are mental distresses that we can overcome if we control our minds well. Eighth is the distress caused by our obsession with body, emotion, thought, action, and perception. The pain is caused by not knowing that everything, including all 7 of the above, is like a dream that changes and doesn't stay the same for a moment. Our bodies are not always the same and feelings change depending on our causal relationship or situation. Also, if you cling to your subjectively judged thoughts, actions, and perceptions, you all end up in distress. These 8 afflictions in our lives can only be eliminated by controlling one's mind wisely. How can I live happily ever after with a happy heart? Only you can make yourself happy. Amy, do you want to live happily ever after? Always look back on your mind. Ask back who I am. What is the feeling of being happy? What is this distressed heart? Don't look outside of your mind. If you find that heart, you have found an infinite treasure.